Are you a party guy?
I'm a moderate party guy, not
Yeah.
like a huge party guy.
No?
Just right, bare minimum, I would say party guy, but I get it done.
What's your drinking?
My vice
or
is
drugs?
drinking. Yeah, I'm a alcohol
Are you a fentanyl guy? That's popular now.
Haven't tried it. Heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
But know it's a thing. It's on the list, but I'm not too hasty to get
Ecstasy guy?
I've been mollied once. Somebody's put Molly in my drink without my knowledge. That has happened.
And how did that feel?
It felt like I was having a good time.
Do you roll on that? What's that one? Is that the rolling one?
I think it makes you feel happy from
Right.
what I hear. I've only done it against my will once. The story, I went to
Someone was trying to make you happier against your will.
Yes.
Is what you're basically saying.
Legitimately, yes.
And who was this Santa?
People that I trusted.
You trusted like a person.
Yeah.
And they made you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, were you accusatory?
So I was, they kind of came out and said it at the end of that. Because what happened was they took me to like a rave for like house music, which is not my favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
But my friends love it. So they're like, yo, we have an extra ticket to this rave. We already bought the alcohol.
Okay, is that the glow sticks?
That's
Everybody's
like
doing these fast dances. Yeah. Glow sticks.
Yes.
Tongue pierced.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of like
a lot of glowing clothing.
glowing. People
and
are
stuff
dressed like
that.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, they're kind of just grooving. There's no real
Yeah.
rhythm, but it doesn't matter. Everybody's just having a good time.
Does anything matter at those things?
I don't
Including
think
laws?
so. Apparently not.
Not guilty by reason of rave?
That's
Is that something you could tell a judge?
That's what they pled to me for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So I don't know if that would hold up, but it held up in the court of friendship because I'm still
a court of friendship.
I'm still very close with these
In a
people.
court of friendship.
Yeah, it held in what we call homie court. They won that case
Why did you go to the rave if you don't go to raves?
because they pitched it as we have a ticket. It's already paid
Do your
for.
friends always have to pitch stuff to you because you're in show business?
Not
They're
'cause
like, let's go to a rave. Let's go to rave. It's going to be, and you're taking in the pitch, and it's like, cut it down to 22 seconds.
And I never thought about
Yeah.
that, but that might be why they do it because it helps them and
Right.
it strokes my ego. But they usually have to pitch things because I'm always going to say no to like any big ideas of traveling or anything
Right.
like that. But they're like, we have a free ticket. No have to pay for alcohol. Don't have to do anything, but just come.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'm not doing anything this weekend. I'll go to DC with
Don't
you
these
guys.
things start at 3 a.m.?
This one started at like 11 and ended at like 4.
How did your abuela handle the time?
You know what? That was just one thing. I think I might have told her I was going to a friend's house just to get
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
a friend that she's comfortable
Yeah,
with.
because I would like to see you explain a rave to your
No,
abuela.
man, that would be a colorful conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think she would get it because she would not understand that one at all. But
Abuelas don't get raves. I don't know what their issue is.
lucky for me, like when it's a grandson abuela relationship, she didn't ask me many questions.
No.
My older sister who lived there before I did used to have to tell my grandmother everything.
Double standard? Is that what
Big
you're
time
saying?
double
And
standard.
women implementing the double
The
standard.
matriarch of the
Yes.
family making sure that the patriarchy was uplifted.
Matriarchy uplifting the patriarchy.
Yeah. You don't see that anymore.
No, this has been a God, that's a spiral of things that are happening here. This thing's got layers to it.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot going on.
You get to the rave.
Get to the rave.
Are you dancing?
So I had been drinking heavily.
Okay.
right?
Okay, heavily.
Heavily, for sure.
Self-admitted.
Self-admitted.
Yeah.
And to be fair to me, that is what I went there to do.
To kill the pain of the rave.
Because it's not my thing.
It's not your thing, so you need to kill the pain by drinking.
That's what-
of listening to this nonsense
That's
music.
where my mindset was at. And I'm like, I'm not a party pooper, so I'm going to go. And in my head, I was having a good time, ironically. You
Right.
know, like I'm dancing like, oh, man,
Right.
yeah, y'all like this music? Yeah, it's cool. And then I ended up having a great time.
Yeah.
And then we're online.
Because it's one of those things where I hate to cut you off because
for it,
but
man.
that's part of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Is if you smile, it tricks your brain
Yeah.
into thinking that you're happy. And you kind of
Yeah.
did that with dancing.
I think I did. I like to dance.
Yeah.
That's not my preferred dance style.
But when you do it, I was at a wedding this weekend. I'm sorry to take the conversation
Go,
over,
man.
but I started dancing,
Come
and my
on.
girl was like, "What are you doing?" And then I just started going harder, and I started going harder and mixing it up. And this is stone sober, and she was like laughing, and everybody kept having a good time. And then we just ended up jumping.
Yeah.
And then and this guy didn't play a slow song for like an hour or two in.
Oh, so you was burning
But
calories.
I was burning calories, but then I headed back to there was a dessert room,
Oh, it's
and
what
locked
a nice
myself
wedding.
in.
It's a beautiful wedding to have
Good
a whole
one.
room full of
Really
desserts.
great one. So that's what you were doing. It's
Yes.
like you were dancing and you were going crazy.
Yeah.
And that kind of gets you in a great mood.
Yeah.
Right? And
'Cause I'm out here.
then
Let's do it.
let's work up to the when your drink was spiked.
Right.
Because this is not cool.
No.
What
Not at all.
happens then? You go back to the bar.
So I'm thinking, right, and this is.
Are you a
this-
fun drunk, by the way? Or are you like
I'm a very
mean
fun
guy?
drunk. I don't get sad. I don't get angry. I get quiet sometimes. I'll stop speaking as to not incriminate myself by saying something stupid, but I'll still be like active, having a good time. And at this point, I feel like I'm in control, but I'm just very loose. My inhibitions are freed.
Gotcha.
But I think what happened was I was handed a beer at the rave. Somebody handed me a drink. And I'm like, oh, this is very nice of you guys who were keeping up their end of the deal by saying I didn't have to pay for alcohol. All I had to do was be there.
Did you say something cool like whites will go, beer me? Did you say
No,
something like that?
I didn't. I wasn't even.
The whites will say that.
I've heard of that. And you know what? If there's anything I do want to take from white culture, it is beer me. Beer me is nice. I like that. Beer me.
Fun.
It's fun. It's festive.
It's fun.
Beer me. You know what I'm saying? It's communal.
It's communal.
Yeah.
There might be a chest bump in there.
There's definitely a fist bump at the least.
The whites can be fun.
They can be. And I do love that, and I appreciate it. And the rave is a very white area.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that type of camaraderie going on. So when I'm handed the beer, I'm thinking, oh, this is wonderful. This is great. And I chugged it. We're having a great time. When we're online to leave the rave, which was...
There's a line to leave?
Well, we were online to get our coats.
Okay.
Right? So we're online for the coat check, and I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, hey, man, that was really fun, actually.
Yeah.
I actually had a great time.
Right.
And what they responded
with... It's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m.
The sun is coming up, maybe?
And they're like, yeah, we know you had a good time.
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And they're like, no, we know you had a good time because we made sure of it. And I was like, I don't understand. Why are you guys trying to one-up me? I'm saying I had fun.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, because we put something in your drink. You just took a Molly. That's why you were having such a good time.
You know what would have made it, just from I'm fancying myself a director. If I was directing this scene, I would do it. I would tell your friends as to supervise the actors. I would be like, no, we made sure you had a good time. And then I would have you pause, go, what are you talking about? And then I would have them grab your face. I would have them grab the locks and then get right up to your ear and go, we put drugs in your and they'd whisper it to you, and then they'd let you go, kind of like Fredo, like in the Godfather Kiss of Death. I love you. And it's just like, we sprayed your drink, and then let you go. And then you drop a coffee cup. You drop them on the ground, and the
mug
water
breaks.
It breaks. It goes everywhere, and then your childhood starts coming back to you. And then it's like you're crying, and the next scene, Abuela picks you up from prison.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like. Yeah, for sure. So
what really happened now?
What really happened is I was furious, and we carpooled back to Airbnb.
And what did you say back to them after you realized that you've been drugged?
I was like, are y'all serious? But everybody else, because it's like guys, it's girls, and everybody else is just dying laughing. Like nobody was on my side. So it made me feel because with guys, it's like, oh, what are you going to cry about it? Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I want to, but I'm not no punk, but I was pissed off, and nobody was validating.
And that's a drug that makes you anti-violent. So what are you going to do? Lash out by hugging everybody?
Let me squeeze you, son. Get hugged. That's how I felt.
I think that's how a bear hug was invented.